the group chat. Another glorious Tuesday we have here. Phil, how you doing?
Fantastic, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Enjoying the sun, soaking up the sun. We've seen a little bit in Wellington over the last couple of days. It has been nice, to say the least.
A treat.
And not too much wind either. We spoke about the wind in Christchurch, and God, that was terrible. Nice to see no wind up here. How was your weekend? Do you have a highlight for us? Straight into it. How was it? What did you get up to? Weekend highlight. Hit me.
Probably Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's cheeks were my highlight.
His cheeks?
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, that was a time. That was an event. That was an event of all time for sure.
Mike Tyson's cheeks were the event.
Mike Tyson's cheeks.
That was unreal, eh? That sequence of him being like talking to whoever was interviewing him. I'm a kill him. And then he kisses the guy on the cheek, and then he walks off, and he's in his jockstrap, and you can just see
beautiful.
It's a full moon hanging out there.
It's peak male performance is what that is.
And that's live on Netflix.
Live on the Netflix. Yeah, they were swearing, they were doing everything. Netflix just doesn't care.
I guess that's what you get with a live event on Netflix. I mean, they've done live events before, not sport, but they did the Tom Brady roast that was live on Netflix too. And that had a lot of swearing and a whole bunch of, you'd probably say R18 stuff on there.
Yeah, most definitely.
So Netflix is just degaff. So was your weekend highlight?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Bengals didn't pull through. And unfortunately, Chiefs lost on a Monday. So I can't say that's my weekend highlight, but a Monday highlight, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you were going to try claim that, I'd be like, nah, Monday, don't count it. I did notice you were wearing a Chiefs jersey. Was that on purpose? Not the Chiefs, not the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, it's just a little reminder
like a
for you. Yeah, just so you don't forget.
I did notice.
Yeah.
And it is the vintage one. You waited a long time for that.
Here's the vintage.
Waited a long time. You happy with it?
Indeed.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Are you happy with the result?
Well, I've been waiting for the Chiefs to lose.
I feel like you kind of expected
it. To be honest, I think I talked about it last week. This is a game. If we're going to lose, I'd kind of pick this as being a game we would lose. Josh Allen, quality. It's always a shootout between the two of them. And yeah, they're just a good side, and we can't turn the ball over like we do. And that's kind of been our issue all year. We've not won convincingly. It's been scrappy wins. But hey, we're 9-1. We're looking good. The Chiefs play their best football in the playoffs when it counts. So if we face the Bills when it matters, watch out. It'll be a different story. If I was to ask you what you rated your weekend out of 10, just curious.
Say 8.
Nice.
Relaxing, didn't have to go anywhere, didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I was going to say mine would probably be around 8.5.
Bit of sun.
Solid weekend, yeah.
Some good sport.
A lot of sport to dive into. So we had the ABs Sunday morning, which was nice, not Saturday morning. Could actually watch it this time.
Yep.
South Africa, they played
just
Monday.
Before that? No, it was just before the All Blacks.
Oh, sorry, was it Australia that played after? Yeah. Yep, so a lot of international rugby. We obviously had UFC. We had the Mike Tyson event. The end of New Zealand Cup week at Riccarton. A whole bunch going on. So we can jump right into it if you want. Usually we'd start with the All Blacks, but I thought we'd start with the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. You've already brought it up. So the whole Netflix event.
Yep.
What did you make of it? And do you think we'll see... We've obviously got more live stuff coming up with NFL on Christmas on Netflix.
Yeah.
But do you think we'll see more stuff like the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson event on Netflix going forward?
Yeah, definitely. They kind of set the precedent. I think it was the most streamed sport event ever, which is a little upsetting considering. But actual event in terms of the stadium and everything else going on looked unreal. Co-main, the controversial co-main was the highlight of the event, I think.
Yes, for sure.
That was a great fight between an undisputed lightweight champion, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
They're going to have to run it back.
Well, they have to. They're going to have to do a third time. It was also, I think, Boxing Fight of the Year in 2022. And the fact that the second fact that the second one was a little bit controversial in terms of the cut to the forehead and then the win. the point deduction. A third one, line it up.
A trilogy.
Very exciting.
Trilogy would be nice.
Main fight was kind of sad.
It was sad. Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Sad.
Yeah, it was just sad to watch. I think. Well, I'm sure Tyson got a fat payout. I'm sure he's fine, but just to watch it was a little bit like, it's my dad getting beaten up by a 27-year-old on peds. It was just a bit like, yeah. You saw that in the street. You can't be like, it's a bit
lots of
up.
elder abuse comments surfacing online.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson agreed to it. The paycheck was worth it for him.
I think
obviously.
He got 20 mil, something like that, and on top of bonuses and whatever. But I think straight up it was 20 mil.
Yeah, and I think being there as a spectator, I think they were just a little bit. They obviously wanted something big to happen, and that was never going to happen. Unfortunately
not. I saw, Mike Tyson, Jake made a deal with him. He said, if you last, I think it was like 2 rounds with me, then I'll give you another, it might have been another 2 million or something on top. But if you don't, you need to get I Love Jake Paul tattooed on you. So I hope Mike Tyson got his extra 2 million.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, that was just it. The first 2 rounds, I was like, okay, we're in for it here, because Mike looked sharp. He was stepping forward. He was putting the pressure on Jake. But as soon as Jake probably got one hit in there, and I feel like as a 58-year-old, I don't know, I've never been a 58-year-old, but I feel like as a 58-year-old, probably doesn't take a lot to kind of put you to sleep after a couple shots to the head.
Yeah. And also, I just think Mike Tyson was, you could see maybe he was trying to do certain things that he just can't anymore, and his legs were just not really there. Obviously the knee brace and everything, but no excuse. Like, that's just age. And that was always going to be a factor. So
yeah, so I don't know. I feel like Mike, he could have gone out there, and you've seen all the training videos, I presume. Do they sold a lot of people? How do you feel about those training videos? Do you reckon Mike held back a bit in the fight? What about like all those kind of stories about how Mike wasn't allowed to knock him out? Or have you seen the fight scripts be leaked online?
Oh, geez. Look, it's effectively an exhibition match that wasn't an exhibition fight. It went on both their records. A Jake Paul fight is always going to have controversy around it. He's picking the retired fighters or ex-MMA fighters, etc. Promotional videos did what they were meant to do, and they promoted the fight very well. You're not going to promote something that doesn't look good.
Well, you got to give it to Jake, to be honest. He's a mastermind marketer. He knows exactly what
and
people
he brings
want
the money
and what people don't want, and lots of people don't want to see him winning, and he knows that. And yeah, I don't know. You got to give it to him, but I think just that whole fight. I actually won my bet on it. The fight to go to the judges. So
very good.
Happy with that. I actually should have. It ended up Mike Tyson ended up paying like about $2.80 to win, maybe $2.70. And the fight to go the distance was about $2.60. So I should have just backed that one. Just solo that one and not pair it with Mike Tyson to win. Because I just,
everyone wanted it, sure.
Yeah, and there's only one time in my life, to be honest, I could have said, I'm betting on Mike Tyson to win. I've never been able to say it before. I'm not going to be able to say it again. I backed Mike Tyson to win. So you got to do it. I saw this morning Jake's been called out by, what's his name? Artur someone. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's ranked top 5 pound for pound boxer in the world. He's the undisputed light heavyweight champ. He's called Jake out saying, I'm here. If you want to fight, let's organize something. Let's talk. And Jake just replied on Twitter being like, I've been in here for 4 years and the champ is calling me out and basically being like, I run this show. Like, if the champ's calling me out after 4 years, I'm the fucking man. But he didn't answer the question. So what do you think's next for Jake? Does he fight this Artur dude? Or do you have anyone lined up for him, you reckon? I've got a couple names here.
To be fair, anyone and everyone that's a boxer will be asking to fight Jake Paul because one, they think they have a genuine shot, and two, big payday. But Jake Paul's only going to go for the big names.
Yeah.
So,
but this guy, I guess, is a big name.
Well, the fact that you can't pronounce a surname is a huge concern, which makes me think that's probably a fight that won't happen. He's going to go for the bigger names. So
yeah, I'll try.
And also, he's a genuine boxer. That's another issue for Jake Paul.
Like he's
also not retired. Another issue.
Bitebiev.
Yeah,
that guy's a tank.
How old is he? 29?
39.
Okay.
39, 80 kgs. He also called out Conor McGregor at the end of the fight, so there's that option.
Yeah.
But I think that call out was Jake's not going to get down to 170. No chance. But let's just do an open weight
MMA fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, get in the octagon and let's
That
just do MMA.
Yeah.
McGregor versus Paul.
Yep. Take it out of the boxing ring.
How?
In the octagon.
Well, I guess McGregor's boxed, but it would be cool to put McGregor back in the octagon to fight Jake. And I wonder how big he could get up to.
Yeah, he's already looking big now. All the steroids from his recovery, so.
Yeah, that would be. I'd actually like to see that. I reckon in the octagon, McGregor would piece him up.
Mm.
Although he's got a wrestling background, Jake, not as much as his brother Logan, who was also on the cards. He may fight. So I'll just spit out some names and you tell me who you think he should fight. So they're Artur Beterbiev, Conor McGregor, Logan Paul, KSI, Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, sure. Canelo or Conor McGregor. Everyone
and
else.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, no. Ryan Garcia's tiny.
He is pretty small, but he's pretty sharp.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I think the boxing world wants to see him fight Canelo.
I would like to see Jake Paul in an octagon next, if anything. I'm getting a bit tired of these boxing events, to be honest. They're not doing themselves any favors. They've never been entertaining. We always watch them because we want something big to happen. Like, think about the Nate Diaz fight. It's just boring.
Well,
it's just boring.
Lots of people are kind of over it now and just being like, UFC. This is why UFC clears boxing by a massive.
Yeah. But if they keep it on Netflix,
margin.
Everyone's going to watch regardless because it's there.
On that, they reckon this is the biggest pay-per-view ever.
It's not a pay-per-view, though, is it?
Technically, it was because it was on Netflix, a paid subscription service.
Mm.
But I don't think anyone would have bought Netflix purely to watch the fight. It's only the biggest pay-per-view because...
Yeah, and you can't prove that either.
Exactly. Like, millions of people already have Netflix, so they're just watching it because they have Netflix. Yeah. I don't think I would have watched it if I didn't have Netflix.
No.
There's no way. I'm not paying...
Would have watched a mate's Netflix or something, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pay... Yeah, I don't know.
And trust Jake to claim it, but claiming it's the biggest pay-per-view event.
Definitely the biggest sporting event, so why not? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so I guess that was that. We can stick with the combat sport if we want to roll into UFC 309.
Yeah, sure.
You got any more comments on Jake Paul?
No, move on, please.
All right, you want to move from Jake Paul? Let's go. So UFC 309.
Yeah.
First question: did the card of the day live up to expectations? Return of John Jones, UFC 309. What were your takeaways? What were your thoughts?
Jim Miller lived up to expectations, paying, what was it, $295 or something?
Yeah.
What a legend. That fight was great. Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira, then the 5-round classic co-main was unreal. That was the highlight.
Very good fight.
John Jones versus Stipe, as expected. John Jones, the quote-unquote pound-for-pound GOAT, yada yada. Dispatched a very slow, sluggish, already retired-looking Stipe. Stipe had moments, but unfortunately that reach was just out of question. Any sort of combos he started to do, and then John Jones started running away. So, which was smart by him, by all means. I'm not saying, right, you ran away. He just pieced him up, had good kicks, decent reactions. John Jones was just quicker than Stipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of in a sporting event, way better than the Netflix boxing. Yeah. So much, everything was just better. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was good.
I thought it was...
Bo Nickel should not be on a main card. I'll say that. Aside from that, it was pretty good.
I was just about to mention the crowd building the whole event because the crowd at the UFC does tend to be a lot better than the boxing.
Yeah.
Just
crowd tends to carry.
They actually get into it more and they're vocal. And they were especially vocal in that Bo Nickel fight because he's been pushed so hard, because he's been tipped to be this next thing.
Yeah.
I think it was like halfway through round 2.
Yeah.
Maybe even start of round 2. The crowd was just overrated. Just the whole time for the rest of the fight. And even when he was doing his post-fight talk,
yeah,
when he got his hand lifted up, the crowd did not stop. Overrated.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm stoked for this performance. I went out and dominated this dude who's had 20 plus professional fights.
Yeah.
He's experienced. He fights for a living. He's no pushover. And I'm 6 fights in.
Yeah.
And he just pieced him apart. He didn't knock him out. It wasn't like a powerful dominant performance, but he just did his thing and he did enough to win. And I guess it's a learning experience for him. But he was stoked with it, which I think riled up the crowd even more.
Yep. I think Paul Craig coming off maybe 2 or 3 losses as well. So, yeah, not a pushover, but he's in a slump and he's a little bit washed.
He like Stipe, he had his moments, though. He looked good.
Of course,
at points.
Yeah. 50 total strikes, not a single takedown from Bo, which was interesting.
Yeah. That's because I think he was trying to prove he can stand and bang, basically.
Yeah.
Fight on his feet, not have to take everything to the ground.
I think obviously he was wanting a knockout. Didn't happen. No. But yeah, look, he's good, there's no doubt. He's now 7-0. But when you're pushed so hard, promoted so heavily, you're getting maybe prematurely added to a main card. Obviously, the crowd's going to be a little bit upset when you're not a standout performer, let's say.
Yeah.
But still getting the job done.
You reckon if he goes and takes him down and a bit of ground and pound or submits him, different story? Because I reckon he could have submitted him if he wanted to, right? Like, his wrestling background, D1 college wrestler.
Yep.
And Olympic wrestler too? Something like good quality wrestling. He should have been able to. And if he wanted to put on a show, maybe he wrestles him and he submits him, but maybe he just wants to prove to Dana that he's got all the tools in the box and is worth continually backing.
Yeah. Well, I think people wanted to see a finish. As we said, like those last 3 fights, I think 2 of them were by submission, 1 of them by KO. So he's definitely got it there. But yeah, decision against a tired Paul Craig, I would say, it's not great for the fans. And not great for UFC either, because they're promoting him so heavily.
Yeah.
You want those first round, second round. And that's a lot of pressure on Bo Nickel, but you're putting him in the main card.
Yeah.
You're saying he's this thing, and the crowd's saying he's not that yet. Please stop forcing him down my throat. Just let him progress naturally. But yeah.
But I guess on that, the next fight, the Chandler-Charles fight.
Yeah.
I said to you earlier, I reckon Charles is one of my favorite fighters. I don't usually like watching them get on the ground and wrestle and go for a submission. I don't mind it, but I'm also just like, I just want to see something like unreal happen. But when I watched Charles do it, I was actually like, shit, yeah, let's go. I was kind of backing him to win by submission, but I just thought he pieced him and just so tactically was so good on the ground, getting himself into different positions to try and get the submission.
Yep.
Heck of a 5th round as well. Chandler is an absolute warrior.
Almost brought it back. Strong like right hook or something, or overhand, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But then I think he starts throwing combos and then like trips up over his own feet basically, or slipped, and then you're like, But yeah, unreal. And then standing up with a very tall Charles on his back and then body slamming
Charles
him
from the ground
twice. It was a great fight. 2 world-class athletes. Good to see.
And then he, in his post-fight, he's like, it's just who I am. My tactics are here, but when shit hits the fan, I'm just going to throw haymakers. Yeah. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to try and knock this guy out. I'm a true American.
Yeah.
Puts on a show and the crowd loves him for it. And fair enough. I mean, every time he steps in the ring, that's the second fight between them?
Yep.
The first one was unreal as well.
Yeah, second round knockout by Charles, I think. And the thing about Charles is that he's good on his feet as well as
that's why I
off
like
it.
him.
And the difference being he does the damage and then he goes for the finish.
Yeah.
I think the people that have issues with wrestlers at the moment, all these champs that are wrestling based, they don't always go for
They
the
just
win.
take them down straight away.
They take it for the controlled time. They go for the decision. Whereas Charles will get you into a predicament and he'll want to try finish you.
Yeah. He'll bang you, do damage. So then when he does get you to the ground, you're already phased.
Yeah.
Like you
don't know
in a
what's
good
going
spot
on.
to defend.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Chandler actually defended.
He did.
Unreal. He got out of a couple chokes every now and then.
Yeah.
He made Charles work for it. And I think Charles only got close to a submission maybe once or twice.
Yeah. Defended nicely. I think Charles was 5 from 12 on the takedowns, so...
Yeah. But also, did they say no one had ever taken Chandler down before?
I can't remember.
I thought I heard that, but that sounds like an unreal stat. If he'd never been taken down.
Yeah, not sure. I didn't.
But
well,
me,
I mean, if you're submitted previously, surely you've then been taken down.
Yeah, I guess so. So I don't know where that came from, but that was a comment made over the commentary that kind of caught my attention.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. But anyway, fight of the night for me, I think. That was unreal. I also just think Charles has that Brazilian dog in him, like that gangster Brazilian Sao Paulo, just like dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
Most definitely.
And then, so the crowd, they got the Bo Nickel fight, snooze fest, fight of the night with the Chandler Charles one, and then John Jones. So I reckon they got their money's worth because John Jones, that was a detailed performance.
Yeah.
He pieced him apart.
Yeah.
Showed off his skill set, did exactly what he needed to do. Get in, get out.
3rd round finish. Thanks for coming. Strong spinning back kick.
God. He's got to have broken a couple ribs there.
I think so. Or something. Torn something because that was such a strong kick. And Steve A dropped instantly.
Yeah. That was crazy. And I saw this morning Jones tweeted saying the spinning back kick is the most powerful kick in martial arts, and I've been practicing it for 3 hours every week for the last months.
Right.
So he put it to use, and
he
got the finish.
Definitely did.
Unreal.
And Steve A just couldn't get out the way. He just didn't have the legs
just too slow, right?
Yeah, he couldn't evade those shots.
Just too slow. Just had to sluggish old
stomach them, and yeah.
And now he's retired.
Indeed.
Called it quits on a decorated career.
Well done.
Hung up the gloves.
We talk about the tale of the payouts, so I'm sure he got a good payout there and retired against a very good John Jones.
And so John Jones not retiring. So we did get a retirement out of the fight. It was a retirement fight, but not a John Jones retirement fight. Saying he'll fight Alex Pereira or maybe have some talks, see what Dana wants for Tom. Likelihood of that?
A lot of money.
Yeah, so what does he come out saying this morning? Or just recently?
I saw an interview a couple of days ago where he says he'll do it for a lot of money, but he has to have conversations with Uncle Dina, etc. But I think he wants the bigger fights in his mind, which would be Alex Pereira, which makes far less sense when you hold the heavyweight belt and you have a guy who had the interim belt waiting there to take you on, and you're saying, I'm protecting my legacy. Everyone's going, okay, so defend your belt then against Tom Aspinall, who's a big prospect, and he's basically saying Tom's a no-name, but at the same time ducking him. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very strange.
He's also playing on the fact that he's like, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I can choose my fate.
I've been here.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just.
Which is admitting you think it's a huge risk, and the fact you want a massive payout for what you considered to be he's a no-name. It's very interesting. The full truth is not there. Very
contradicting between the stuff he says.
It's very contradicting.
Because then you said he said something about he doesn't want to ruin his legacy, which is kind of implying he's already lost the fight.
Yeah,
like it's a lose-lose for him, I guess. Yeah. But
he's like, "What's in it for me?" That's to say that
if you win, you cement your legacy
exactly against the biggest prospect, the interim heavyweight title holder, the fastest heavyweight in the division currently. Everyone's saying you're slow and old. This cements your legacy, if anything.
Go prove you're not. Instead of doing it against Stipe, who's retired now.
Yeah, but he thinks he's above it for some reason, and that's where it's sitting. So,
yeah, I think he puts on a good show.
Vacate the belt, go fight Alex, and let Tom dictate the division. Don't let it just sit there while you duck someone who is in their prime. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what kind of cash he would need to get paid.
Yeah,
maybe it could be like one of those WWE moments where he already knows he's out, so he just goes and gets the bank, gets paid, and just forfeits the belt. So he might just come to terms with, okay, I'm just going to bow out here. You can have the belt. You're up and coming. Just let me get my bag. And
Dana seems to think if he is going to fight again, and it's going to be against Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, he did say that. Even in the press conference before the fight.
Yeah,
the winner has got to face Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Came out of Uncle Dana's mouth. Indeed. He said it. I also, notable stat I found about Charles, 20 fight bonuses in the UFC. I think he's got the most fight of the night bonuses.
Yeah.
He's got over a million for that, which is
well deserved.
Go Charles. Cool. Anything else on the UFC for me?
Yeah, let's move on to the rugby, I guess.
Yeah, All Blacks France.
1 point loss.
Yeah.
Didn't go for the line there. 5 minutes to play.
Yeah. So, what's your move on that?
You're on the 40-meter line.
Yeah.
You're within the opposition half. 5 minutes to play. Plenty of time. In terms of being down that end, I think you go for the line. You try maul over and get a try. They decide to go for the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not 3 points to equal. It's not 3 points to take the lead. It's 3 points to still be behind by 1 point and then try and get all the way back up the field. It's a 100-meter stretch potentially to then try win the game again. It's like you have the opportunity right now to
go
get
win it
in the lead and put the pressure on France. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but I think even the Springboks with however many minutes to go, I think they were in the lead by a few points. They didn't go for the 3-pointer. They go, we're going to cement this.
We're going to ice it.
We're going to cement this win here, and we're going to go for the line, and we're going to score again.
Yeah.
So it's just a difference of opinion in what, obviously, the All Blacks or Scott Barrett believed they could do with the time they had left. I think by the time you kick it, and by the time you get the ball back in your half, you probably got like 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of time to play with.
It's not.
Against a French team that's defended pretty well all game. A lot of pressure. And they almost made it back. There was a break. Who was it? Barrett to Will Jordan, maybe. Got the ball back. There was a knock on there in the midfield.
Yeah.
But then also, even before that, you're getting the ball off the kickoff.
Yeah.
And then you're kicking it from your 22. So you're playing like a territory game again. You're giving the ball back to the opposition.
Yeah. I guess the difference with the Springboks one, I reckon, because this is the best team they've had. They're flying super high. Their confidence is through the roof. They're going to be like, all right, let's just go down. Let's do a line out more, go score us the game. That's coming because we know that's what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to stop our more. The All Blacks, we probably dominated set piece, but I don't think that confidence is there within the team to back themselves to go and do that. It should be. In
which case, but you have the confidence to go 100 meters against France?
I don't think it was the confidence to go 100 meters. I reckon it's the confidence to get the ball back up around halfway and milk a penalty to then kick it over to win by 2 points, which is why I think they took the 3 to get it within a penalty. So, I don't know. I reckon if Scott's taken a lot of heat for this, I reckon if Richie McCaw was captain, made that decision to kick the 3 and we go on and lose, I think everyone would have been like, yeah, put them in a shot to win it, get back to halfway, and probably the right call. I think because there's just not a lot of history behind what Scott Barrett's done in the All Blacks team at the moment, they just want to see them go to the corner and go on it. And it's the aggressive style that the All Blacks are kind of known to play. So I don't hate either situation.
No, I don't. Obviously, looking back on it now, everyone will say it's the wrong decision. At the time, 50-50. It's not a guarantee you're going to get over the line.
No.
But you do want to see the All Blacks have that confidence and go for the win, I feel like.
I reckon it is a confidence thing.
Yeah.
I reckon. But we nearly had it on halfway. Rico knocked it on. That happens, but there's a potential we carry on that phase and we milk a penalty on the 40-meter line, we knock it over and we win.
Yeah. Either way, I feel like there's assumptions.
Yeah. And
I almost feel like if you're on the front foot, get the lead.
I think
away from home.
Imagine if we hadn't scored on the line-out drive. People would be like, "Oh, should have taken the 3. Go take the 3 and give yourself a chance to."
Yeah.
I think it was a lose-lose situation if we lost. But yeah. Also, I feel like we actually played so well that game. It was us playing against 16, 17 men. Sometimes I felt like the referee planned some making some pretty poor decisions, but then also the foul play referee in the bunker, CMO upstairs. That neck roll? Not a neck roll.
They've been pretty stiff on those neck roll-ish moves. Rolling over, landing on a player's leg, even in the Springboks game. So across the board, they've been pretty strict on it this last week or two. So I'm not going to say I'm surprised. I saw similar things in the Springboks game.
Yeah.
But yes, not technically a neck roll, but it is dangerous.
I would say if the referee picked it up and called it himself, fair, because in the replay it does look like he kind of gets it.
Yeah.
But when you see the replay, you can see how he's got him, but he's not actually rolling him. It's the force coming in from the person cleaning out and falling back through that initiates that movement, which the foul play TMO should be able to see because he's looking at the replay. If the ref sees that live and just sees that movement, fair, you could probably call it a neck roll live. You look back on it, and that foul play TMO, get out of here. We don't need...
Did that not give All Blacks a penalty, though? To push you within that 1 point? Was that you were not gifted a penalty from that exact same scenario? Where the French prop did a neck roll, non-neck roll, because the leg was stuck out, they deemed that to be dangerous. He called it a neck roll. It's called something else. I swear, I can't think of it now. But
what is that the penalty to put us within?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I don't.
So very, very similar thing. We can watch the replay, but that ruling has been pretty heavily reinforced this last week or two for whatever reason. The Northern Tour have decided, let's keep an eye on this sort of stuff.
But also, the Northern Tour have been a joke with all their rules.
Yeah.
Not playing some, let's focus on some other ones.
Trial and error sort of period for international tests.
And it's just tough, like, for the players to adjust, first and foremost, and the fans to... Because you're reacting to something that you think you're right on, but they've actually changed the rules for this test match.
It can be hard to follow, especially if you're more of a casual enjoyer of the sport. It's hard to keep track, especially at international level when you have more eyes on the game. You get more confusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyway,
anywho, Springboks 29-20. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
We'll get to that because I do have a question for you.
Indeed.
In terms of some of the players in that. But Battle of the Nines, DuPont, Roygaard.
Oh yeah,
who won?
Probably Roygaard. Roygaard's one of the best halves in the game right now. Strong game. Influential, I'd say. More so influential.
Yes.
In that game.
I think being able to, first and foremost, keep DuPont quiet is a massive win. I wouldn't say quiet, but minimize his impact on the game, how influential he was on the game. And Roygaard was able to do that for 50 minutes. And then once Roygaard came off, oh, God. I think, that was the wrong decision by Razor. Would you agree?
I don't know. What time did he come off?
I think the 52nd minute.
Yeah, it's an early rotation. You would expect a player to... Obviously, he's coming off an injury and everything else, so maybe can't expect him to play the full 80 or anything like that. But in a tight game, someone who's performing very well. Maybe there's something else. Some other reason. You never know.
How about that try he scored? That's a freakish try.
Yeah.
Unreal. And that's just
that's just what he offers.
That's exactly.
I think that's why
what
he's
he does.
there.
And it's like what DuPont does for the French. Like he just pulls out some unreal plays.
Yeah.
And it's
Grant Williams as well did the same thing for the Springboks.
Just you need from those guys on the field in tight games.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, I don't know if Cortez is up to standard. Really liked him at the start of the season. I think he's been tested a little bit. Maybe he's just having a tough patch. And he's still learning. He's still very young. He could be a quality player in 2 or 3 years' time.
It's all about experience, right?
I think the last 2 tests, he hasn't quite been up to the standard. People probably expected him to be at after his initial start. Because he did have a good start.
Yep.
But, just struggled a little bit, I think. Struggled with the pressure. The big lights are on him.
Big lights over in France.
What about the spotlights on the haka too?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the two spotlights were on. Also, Peter Larkai.
Great atmosphere. Yep.
Unreal.
Yep. First try of the game.
Wonder if anyone had him first try scorer.
Surely.
Because you can't bet on him pre-match because he's on the bench.
Yes.
But as soon as he comes on, he would have gone live as an option.
I'm sure somebody did. I'm sure.
I wonder if we could find out.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we could. Peter Larkai, so good. He's going to be another one, like, I think when we give him a chance, be similar to Wallace Atiti. Hard to live into those shoes because Wallace has just taken off. But I think he'll be like a similar
Yeah,
follow
very consistent, very solid
journey.
Flank.
And you said today that the Emerging Player of the Year's nominees have just come out. Wallace in there.
The shortlist.
Sasha Feinberg, he's in there.
Yep.
Unreal. I think Wallace is going to take it out, but we did talk about how good Sasha has actually been.
Yeah. It's obviously plagued with injuries, but since he's come into the squad, he's been unreal. I think it's a very exciting prospect for the Springboks. So just a shame he couldn't get more game time.
South Africa, a good win. You watch it? Get up and watch it?
Yeah. 6 a.m. Ideal.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. Not bad
good.
Timing.
Usually it's like 3, so I was stoked.
Yeah, and what'd you make of that? What was the final score on the end?
29-20.
So the 1-12. South Africa 1-12.
And yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's a good game. Grant Williams had a good game. I think the English pack, for the forward pack, had a little bit... I think we had Oxnije had an early injury, so we had to have an early rotation in the front row. But coming into the second half, we kind of struggled a little bit with the scrums because of that early change. Less of an impact with the bench for our forwards. So we gave away a few unnecessary penalties. But overall, yeah, pretty good. Chess and Colby, insane. Yeah. Dispatching that backline defense. Some really nice cross kicks from Mani Lebok. We started off really messy and very much under pressure. Mani Lebok gets a little bit stressed, I think. Then you've got Grant Williams, who's had rare starts at number 9.
Yeah.
So it took them a while to get settled, but once they did, happy days. Grant Williams scoring a great individual try you'll have to watch. And then some good cross kicks. Just really exposed England.
Was Colby's try, that was off a cross kick.
That was a cross kick, yep.
That
was
one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then the step is
too agile. You can't. If he steps you, you're just left in the dust. You don't really have a choice.
So that's one of my big questions for you in terms of wingers, right? So we've obviously had like a Julian Savia, your Caleb Clark sort of build, your Jonah Lomu, your big steamrollers who are just strong and powerful and run straight through you.
Yeah. Bust through a couple tackles.
Seems like the new meta for wingers is small, quick, shifty, like unreal with headgear. You have to have the headgear on. Have to have the headgear. Is that the way to go? Do we need to find someone like that to
small, stocky, fast?
Start number 14 for the All Blacks.
Headgear on all the time.
Let's swap Sevier Reese and let's pull in someone like, because there's Colby, there's the Scottish winger, the other South African winger, the French winger. Like, they just copy and paste of each other. Obviously, Colby's the GOAT of those ones.
Yep.
But they're just like, bang, 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 bang. They're the same thing. And my God, they're all quick and they all score unbelievable tries. It's electric.
Yeah.
We need to find one of them.
Yeah. Well, I think he's one of the 3 South Africans shortlisted for, what is it? That means 15 Player of the Year, Colby.
Yep.
As well as Itzebeth and Peter-Steph du Toit.
3 in there. It just shows how good of a team they've been.
But I've got the stats here on some of these wingers.
Yeah, right. Hit me with some wingers stats.
So there's something in this headgear thing.
It's got to be.
Something in small, shifty wingers. I mean, look at the pace that, what's his name? Bailey Biari had for the French.
That's the winger that scored.
11. Yeah,
holy.
I've definitely butchered that name, but my God, just insane. Gassed. Sevier Reese,
everyone.
No chance.
Oh my goodness. He made everyone look like they're on fucking Walker frames. God.
So you got Chesson Colby around 39 caps, 111 points.
Has he only played 39 games?
Yeah. He's got some kicks in there as well, some conversions. But yeah, 111 points. Very fast, unreal step. Kurtley Orange, similar step, probably a little bit smaller. 23 caps, 85 points, which is 17 tries. Then got this Bailey Biari guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting around maybe 79 kgs, 80 kgs.
Okay.
Darcy Graham from Scotland, 41 caps, 145 points, which is 29 tries. So I started to compare this now with what the All Blacks have.
Okay, yeah. So
Mark Talea, 18 games, 12 tries. He has been unbelievable recently, more specifically.
Yep.
Very solid. He's now bumping, 2 or 3 players and then dotting over the line.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot stronger. He's fighting to get to the line.
Caleb Clark, even more on the stocky end. 28 games, 13 tries. So dip in form there. He's about 10 extra
I
games.
feel like he started hot, went through a rough period. In the last maybe 2-3 games, he started looking good again.
Yeah.
But...
And now I go, what's the equivalent of a Colby for the All Blacks? So maybe look back and it's Milner Scudder.
It's got to be Milner Scudder.
What is Milner Scudder's stat? 13 games, 12 tries. So there's something about a shifty person on the edge that is just unreal pace, unreal step.
Just quick feet.
Milner Scudder had one of the best steps in the game.
Yeah, the Scudder step.
So, a little goosey.
Oh!
There's something in that. And I think when you have Darcy Graham doing so well for Scotland as well, but also they've got a Van der Merwe who was big, tall, stocky. So maybe you want to balance. You want to Mark Telea on the one wing, and then the other, you need someone fast who's got a great step, challenge high balls.
Yeah.
He can chase like
just a greyhound.
Yep. But the stats there for these smaller, more nimble, stocky guys with the headgear.
Could you imagine if we put headgear on him on a Scudder? He would have played 13 games, 20 tries. That would have been unstoppable. He would have been the greatest winger of all time if we're looking at those.
Yeah, Chess and Colby, 75 kgs again. So
yeah,
these guys could all play under 85 is what I'm saying.
Oh, could you imagine rocking up?
Sign them up.
You go out on a Friday night. You wake up in the morning and you're sitting at around the 86, 85 kg mark. So you can't eat breakfast because you got to make weight. And you get to the ground at about 1. You got to weigh in your undies to get under 85.
You're playing on a swamp.
You're playing on
the boots are sticking to the mud.
And on the other side, you just see a Cheslin Colby lining up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's scoring 10 tries. You're getting you're doing the I will lie here in the mud after you have just stepped me. And while I look at you run away, I just look at all the mud flicking up from your boots.
I don't think you'd be able to get a hand on them. I don't think you'd be able to touch them.
You do. Yeah, I don't think you do.
Especially in the mud. They're low center of gravity. Yeah. That's what the heck? It'll be like playing the Flash from The Incredibles. not Flash. What's his name? Dash. Not yeah. Or the Flash. Could be the Flash.
Yeah, it could be.
That would be goodness.
Yeah. Milner Scudder.
How much does Milner Scudder weigh?
Let's have a gander. What would you guess?
I'm going to say I don't think he was as small as...
I feel like he's a little bit
I'm going to put him at like 83, 84 kgs.
It says here 90. Whether that's post-All Black season or current or...
Because he was probably a little bit more stocky.
Definitely more stocky. Yeah.
But if you put some headgear on that boy, he would have scored.
Yeah, also a little bit taller, 1.8 as opposed to Colby's 1.72.
Okay, it's got 8 centimeters on him.
So...
It's a good frame, that, actually.
Indeed.
It's a good frame. Not a scout ahead. And then, okay, last question on a rugby front.
Yep.
Are the Wallabies back?
Wallabies are back.
Or is this just like fool's gold?
I think Wallabies are back in the form of they're putting some good performances together. They're getting wins. Not only are they getting wins, they're destroying a very average Welsh side.
Yep. Very average, too.
Probably in the past, the Wallabies of old would have they probably still win, but it would have been a lot closer. So to go in, control the game for 70 minutes, and come out with the 52-20 win, significant.
So last year, the Wallabies lost to Wales 40 points to 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And they've completely flipped that. And is that Wales just going down the drain or Aussie going up? I think it's Aussie going up. I think they look good,
I think there's a lot of teams that are progressing and developing. Wales are not developing.
No.
They're struggling. Australia is in that development stage now, which is great to see.
I think it's good for rugby, Southern Hemisphere rugby as a whole, to see Australia get stronger, more eyes on the game. Yeah. Like it's going to be can only be good for Super Rugby. Yep. Can only be good for the Rugby Championship. They probably still won't win the Bledisloe, but it's only can be good for that too.
Yeah, I mean, bet England 42-37 as well. No easy feat. So then they got Scotland and Ireland up next. The way they're playing, you think, they'd take both those teams on. So Joe Schmidt doing something right. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Okay, so that's rugby for another week. And
also, hat-trick from Tom Wright was crazy.
Yeah.
Great individual skills in there as well. So, yeah.
How good.
Good for the Aussies.
you mentioned it earlier. The Chiefs lose to the Bills. They now sit 9-1 on the season. It's their first loss since Christmas Day last year. So that put them at a 15-game winning streak.
Wow.
Which doesn't even crack the top 5 winning streaks in the NFL. So you'd think they'd probably be up there, especially with a lot of hate they're getting and all the refs helping them, all this sort of stuff. But the Patriots had a 23-game winning streak in 2003, 2004. Fair enough. They were getting a lot of hate as well. But the sides that have won 19 games on the trot, the Colts won 19 games.
Damn.
A lot of teams on 16 wins, tied at 16. So the Chiefs weren't even top 5 winning streaks.
So they got 15 today.
They got 15. And we have winning streaks. So I was just looking through some more. But the first one was Rafa Nadal, GOAT, on clay. 81 matches in a row.
What?
He won on clay.
Really?
Unreal. 81. That's a good number. Brian Nelson's record of 11 PGA Tour wins consecutively. So that's turning up week in, week out, 11 weeks in a row, winning 11 tournaments in a row.
Oh, God.
Not even Tiger Woods could do that. That's wild. This one could be, I don't know, there's a few crazy ones on here. I'll tell you this one first. Bayern Munich. You know what this one was?
No.
2013, 2014
I was going to say
season.
2012, 2013. Damn. Yeah.
19 straight wins in the Bundesliga. That's pretty impressive. Sugar Ray Robinson, 91 straight boxing victories. From 1943 to 1951, this guy did not lose.
Damn.
Not losing for 8 years. That's unbelievable.
Floyd?
Yeah, he's got 50.
He got to 50.
He got to 50, yeah. This guy, Jahangir Khan. You know that name?
No.
Well, you should. The GOAT of squash.
Oh, let's go.
555 wins.
Oh, my God.
His first win came in 1981 when he was 17. And he wasn't even...
Oh, are you taking that from... Okay, yeah. Hold on, yeah.
No, like professional.
Yeah,
professional.
okay.
And he's actually not happy with that stat. He thinks it's closer to 750 because he's counting exhibitions and everything. So this guy...
The GOAT of the squash court.
He owns the squash court.
Squash immortal.
Close to 750 wins, he reckons.
My God.
This one stood out, though, and I actually remember seeing it a couple of years ago. Cal Ripken Jr., baseball player. 2,632 consecutive games of baseball played.
Wow. This
guy did not miss a single game all season for 2,632 games. That's freaking out there. Lots of these were just American stuff, but how about Arsenal's 49-game winning streak in 2003, 2004?
How about it?
How about that? What else we got? Touchdowns, no-hitters, hurdles. Here he is. 555 straight squash matches he won.
Oosh.
Or maybe it isn't. Khan had to do it more times. Okay, so yeah, he reckons there's more.
More in the bank. It's light work for him.
This was number 1 on GQ. Joe DiMaggio's. It's a heck of a name. 56-game hitting streak. So baseball. Not too phased about that. I think Khan's is way more impressive.
Yeah, that's wins as well.
Yeah.
It's unreal stat.
So we're pretty much at the end, but there was one thing I saw this morning that I did want to show you. And if I showed you this picture of... Okay, so we're at a college football game. Let me paint you the picture, and then I'm going to show you a picture. We're at a college football game, UNLV, college football, in the suite. So you got a pretty good setup.
Oh, right.
You probably paid like a decent amount to get in there, or you know someone. For food, a bowl of chicken tenders and a pepperoni pizza. That's what you eat for the day.
Oh. Surprised it wasn't a prime bottle in a lunchly.
You wait till Logan Paul starts getting to the college
starts spraying you with deodorant,
wow.
with Jake Paul deodorant, and then you're in for
oh my goodness,
big leagues.
What are you paying for a bowl of chicken tenders and a pepperoni pizza?
How big's a pepperoni pizza?
It's like if you picture New York slice pizzas.
Oh, pretty big.
And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6. 6 slices. So like it's a big
pretty
box,
pretty big, pretty greasy. It's like a Sal's.
Yeah, probably like a Sal's.
And then I get what, 6 chicken nuggets?
No, there's a few in there. I'd say it's 12. And like chicken tenders, like maybe KFC original recipe, something like that. Maybe 12 in there. What would you pay?
American. Don't really know. I'm gonna say 20
for the pizza. All up.
A
little combo meal.
Yeah,
25
US, maybe
25. Try $653.
That's got to be for the ticket as well.
Nope, I've got the receipt. Pre-order 1 pizza, $300. 1 crispy chicken tenders, $190. Try administrative charge for $112, and then sales tax for $50, giving you a total of $653.18.
Who's paying for that?
No idea.
Who would see that and go, yes, that's very reasonable?
So here's the pizza. $300. $300.
Looks right. Not for $300 though.
It does look like a decent pizza. I'd probably eat it.
I would eat it.
Good lot of pepperoni.
Yeah.
What's your pepperoni to cheese ratio if you get a pepperoni? You going like you'd rather more pepperoni, more cheese?
I'm a more cheese.
Yeah?
I'm a more cheese.
I feel like Maybe I'd like a more pepperoni.
Yeah, but then you can have too much and it becomes very salty and greasy. Think about the oil.
Yeah, there is a lot of...
I prefer a very nice cheesy pizza with a decent amount of pepperoni. But if you go too much either way...
Yeah, okay. You like thin base, thick base, deep dish?
For a pepperoni, maybe a deep dish.
Deep dish?
I feel like wood fire pizza, I probably don't go pepperoni.
Wood fire, I feel like a margarita or something kind of more fresh.
Deep dish pepperoni would go hard.
Yeah. And then here's... The bowl of chicken tenders just looks sad.
Oh, okay, no, that's someone's house. Someone's made that at home. Come on. You've come around. I've opened up the Teagle's
bag of chicken.
The Teagle crumb chicken. I've chucked it on the pan. That can't be real. I refuse to believe that. That's a fake narrative. That's insane. And the fact, even more so, okay, it can be priced like that, but the fact that someone went, yes, I will pay for this.
I think so. I was reading about it. They didn't know, like, because it was pre-order. So they're like, okay, let's just order the pizza. Let's order some chicken tenders. And it came out, and they got the receipt, and they
afterwards.
Were like, huh? Huh? What?
That's
$650. And you've probably paid to be in this luxury suite anyway. You should just be getting food for free.
Should be free, yeah. Should be part of the deal.
Yeah. Should be a freaking package. Anyway, I
can't believe that.
That's freaking wild.
You know what else is wild?
Yeah, hit me.
Drake won his bet on John Jones.
He lost it on Mike Tyson, though.
Well, he had to lose it somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, so he won on John Jones. To be fair, John Jones was a $1.12 favorite.
I thought he almost cursed him.
Or he did put it to knock him out, right? Or was it just straight up win?
I think it may be in a KO.
Okay, so he's got a little bit more value on it.
I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like it was. I feel like you might be right.
Or was it just a win? Maybe it was just a win because the payout was like, was it not like 900,000?
Yeah,
which is to say he put 500,000.
Yes,
which is to say it's like $1.20-ish.
500,000 to 900,000 would be about $1.80. So you might.
I'm guessing. I don't know what he got paid at. I think he got paid out 900K. I don't know how much he put.
I think he backed a knockout, and I think he just backed Mike Tyson
by KO, TKO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is decent
Tyson's
return. I think Mike Tyson's one was just straight up one. But yeah, so Drake, I don't know. Would you call that?
Yeah, because John Jones was paying $1.20, and then when it started, I think he dropped to like $1.07 or something.
He was
ridiculous.
paying cheeks to
nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What's the next UFC event we've got?
Fight night.
What's the next pay-per-view event we've got?
It's not Sydney, is it?
Nah, that's UFC 12, I think.
So you got the Jan Figueiredo, which is the fight night. You've then got Pantoja. Oh, and Kai Asakura. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting fight. And you've also got in the prelims, I think that's moved though, has it not?
Oh, Cyril Gain.
You've got Machado Gary and Shavkat Rakhmonov, which is an insane fight. Insane fight. Yeah. Cyril and Alexander Volkov, also decent. Yep. But those first two, that's crazy. Pantoja and Asakura. And then Rakhmonov and Gary. That's very big.
I think Rakhmonov was meant to fight that Bilal Muhammad initially.
This is a much better fight.
Yeah?
Although Rachmanov deserves the bout.
He's 18-0.
Yep, he deserves to fight Bilal. This is much more entertaining. 18-0 versus the 15-0. Let's have it. You've also got Asakura. It's his first ever UFC fight, and he's fighting for the belt. That's how good.
Is that his first fight?
That's how good this guy is. He's very legit. So yeah, this is a banger of a card.
Wow. Okay.
8th of December.
Yeah, let's get around it. Straight after, you know what's on the 7th?
No.
Auckland FC return fixture against the Knicks.
Oh, true.
Up in
Auckland.
Auckland.
Oh,
Yes,
fantastic.
sir. Yes, sir. So that's going to be a good weekend of sport once again. We can't get a break from it.
Well, actually, we did just have a break. We had a break from football.
International break's so good, though. There's some good.
Top tier.
I'm pretty sure France drew with Gibraltar or something. God.
There you go. That's peak.
That's good footy. Good footy.
But we back. Man United are back. New manager is in. Come on.
We're back this weekend for some more Premier League action.
Oh, baby. I'm genuinely excited. I love the Premier League this season.
I guarantee you there is a 100% chance that we will be taking some bets on that come Friday when we do our odds-on edition.
You got a tough game. Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood, the GOAT. Come on. We've got Ipswich with the new manager. Come on.
That's a tough game. Tractor boys, they're out for blood. They just got their first one. They're on a roll. International break. Fire them back up.
Hopefully Tottenham can do something against Man City, but we'll see.
Hopefully. That would be glorious. If Man City can lose 5 on the bounce.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've derailed a little bit there. So let's call it a day. And thanks for listening.
Cool.
If you did make it this far. And we'll see you on Friday for some odds on. How good. See you later.